already know what time it is. It's your player partner, Mack B. Welcome back to Sports Hop, episode 45. I'm so excited. We're back at it, back in the building. I got my man Kapeash over here, my co-host
is in the building. What's popping?
Oh, man, we good, brother. We on. And we got a special guest on the couch today. I got the legendary, the OG Kokane in the building. What's up, baby?
Man, what's happening with it, man?
Welcome to the couch.
Thanks for the invitation.
Hey, man, we honored to have you here, man. It's definitely a blessing. We've been looking forward to doing this, so we finally making it happen. Yep. We're going to dive right in, man. Talk to us about, how you grew up, your upbringing, where you're from, and what that was like.
Well, I'm a West Coast pioneer, but I was actually born in the South Bronx.
Okay. Shout out to the Boogie Bronx.
Yeah, definitely shout out. I'm proud to come from both coasts, from the East Coast and being a West Coast pioneer.
Yeah.
But my father was in the music already, so you kind of say I was born into it.
Yeah.
My father's Jerry Buddy Long Sr., one of the greatest writers, composers, producers, and writers at Motown.
Wow.
Some of his works include Just My Imagination, Papa Rolling Stone.
Really?
Yeah, and then
my music in his blood already.
Yeah, it was embedded into my chromosomes.
That's dope.
Wow.
That's dope.
So I remember, going to certain sessions, and the running board looked like a spaceship. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of saying I was like a Funketeer / space baby.
Okay.
That's dope.
And we moved from New York, South Bronx, moved to the West Coast. And I grew up in a town called Pomona. But prior to going to Pomona, California, I lived in little spots in LA. Mm-hmm. It was kind of rough growing up.
Yeah.
But then we moved and migrated to Pomona, California.
Okay.
And
shout out to the P.
Shout out to the P. And that's where I learned all my game from Pomona.
Okay.
How were you when you landed in Pomona?
No, I think about 6 or 7.
Oh, that young. Okay.
Yeah, so I went to elementary.
Yeah.
Went to junior high.
Okay.
Went to, graduated high school out there.
Dope.
And it was cool because it was a small city. And it was the last city out of LA County.
Mm-hmm.
In order to go to the LA County Fairgrounds, you got to go to Pomona.
Right.
But, any small city, we had our Napoleon complex and we had to kick up dust.
Mm.
So you had the cats, in the sports world, like Sugar Shane Mosley.
Okay. Shout out to Sugar Shane.
Right. Of course, Above the Law.
Mm-hmm. Sugar Free.
Sugar Free, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can't forget Sugar Free.
Yeah,
of course.
Homegirl played fantastic. Jessica.
Okay.
She's from Pomona, and Kobe Bryant's wife was from Pomona.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
Wait, Jessica Alba? Or
yeah, she's from Pomona.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's
so
major.
Pomona has been hidden in plain sight, but we've definitely been a staple.
Wow.
In the game for many years.
A lot of talent out of Pomona.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so that's my humble surroundings.
Okay, I love it, man.
Good.
Talk to us about the process of your musical influences. Like, who influenced you? At what age? Was it when you were a teenager where you said, you know what, I want to dip my toe into the game. I think I can do this. I know I can do this and make it happen. Who inspired you besides your father, of course?
Yeah, first and foremost, my father. But growing up, I kind of didn't really understand because he was shorty.
Mm-hmm.
But then, later through the 70s, cats like Johnny Guitar Watson, Curtis Mayfield, definitely Parliament, Rubber City Band,
mm-hmm. P-Funk,
Donny Hathaway,
Okay.
Barry White. And then it was an exception because that was the humble beginnings of hip hop.
Right.
So growing up in my household, we played jazz, blues, funk, and soul, and then now hip hop. So after the 70s, it was the best of both worlds, like a big pot of gumbo.
Yeah.
Right. We was exposed to it.
Right.
Me and my cousin co-won 87.
Okay.
From Above the Law. Of course, our uncle was really Hutch too.
Right.
He did I'll Choose You.
Yeah.
I'll Be There. He did the Mack movie in the 70s. Real big in the 70s.
Big time.
Okay.
So we kind of had the cheat code. I kind of had the cheat code.
Yeah.
I knew when I stepped in the studio with my father, I knew that's what I wanted to do. 5 years old.
Yeah.
at 5.
At
Wow.
5.
That's
You remember that moment? You remember that day?
Yeah,
That's dope.
I remember it. We was in Detroit because he did a lot of work in Detroit.
Uh-huh.
He was very instrumental in working with the Funk Brothers at Motown, who played a lot of stuff. My dad was a part of the Funk Brothers,
Right.
who also influenced George Clinton Parliament. So,
That's dope.
you know, seeing the Parliament and the mothership come down, it just blew me back. I knew, you know, I love soul music and different things, but the thing that I identified so much with was the Parliament Funkadelic sound.
Mm-hmm.
And it was incredible because, like I said, after the 70s going into the 80s with the hip hop, I was singing and rapping long before you Drakes.
Yeah.
I was doing that in 83.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because technically I started my career in 84.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, do the math on that. That's like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, your boy just
Yeah.
turned 42. So
Yeah.
I know the math. I was born
Yeah,
in 84.
so, you know, we had an outlet in Pomona to where all the cats like Rakim, Scholar Rock, KRS One, Salt and Pepper, they used to come out there because it was a hot spot for East Coast too.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a spot called Grand Central Station.
Mm.
That's where, you know, outside of the wildness and gangbanging, it was a release. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, we get a chance to show this art and network with East Coast cats because West Coast cats grew up off East Coast cats.
Bad part.
Right. Facts.
You know, they talk about, you know, we keep it gangster and the gangster rap and all that. And they even talk about how it was private corporations came in to further gangster rap because we never did call it gangster rap when it was in NWA. Ice-T didn't call it that. He called it reality rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, you look at East Coast, you look at Just Ice, you look at Cool G Rap, that was spitting some gangster.
Yeah.
That's true.
Real talk.
So music is so influential. You know what I mean? I used to do a lot of talent shows. It wasn't easy.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
It was not easy.
Oh, no.
And I was recording with my Uncle Willie Hutch in 1987, but he wasn't on what we was on. You know, especially talking this gangster
school,
stuff,
yeah.
or reality rap.
Right.
So I left Uncle Willie Hutch, respectfully. And then 1988 hit, and I was going to sign with LL Cool J's DJ.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Yeah.
That didn't work out. And then 89 hit, and I'm going over my auntie's house, which is Hutch's mama, code 187 from above the law. And I walked in, and that was the days where the jukebox was cracking. For those know, y'all know what that is.
Yeah.
Yep.
They had big numbers on a video called Murder Rap, which they linked in with Layla and eventually linked in with Eazy E. So in 89, that's when I got put on.
Wow.
But prior to being Kokane, and then the Legendary Kokane years later, you know, my name was J. Gold. My grandmother named me J. Gold because I got mutated green eyes.
Oh, wow.
My
Yeah.
grandma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But Hutch said, we need to change your name and channel this type of energy because you're so different, Jerry.
Right.
And this is Hutch talking to me, above the law.
Right.
He said,
Legends.
you are so different. It's like you have multiple personalities. You like bipolar with the funk.
Yeah.
You're like a rich little mimicking different voices, but you sound like it. You sound like Rick James. You sound like George Clinton. And the kick is,
Bootsy Collins too.
yeah, the kick is, yes sir, Bootsy. The kick is, you're a dope ass MC. I said, okay, what's the name? He said, man, you should be called Kokane.
Mm.
Sat back. I said, that's dope. Same thing you said.
Wow.
Right.
You know, because we were so inspired by, you know, Parliament. We didn't want to call ourselves P-Punk babies.
Yeah.
We were inspired. Like they were inspired by James Brown. Like they were inspired by it's tribal.
It's passed on.
So the style of music we created above the law and Kokane was called G-Funk. That's our music. That's the style we
Love
did.
G-Funk. Love it.
Which years later, you got the likeness of course, Warren G, because Warren G used to stay with Above the Law and Kokane.
Right.
You know what I mean? No cap.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to use it instrumentally and take it across the world.
Yeah.
But the very first time that you heard the word G-Funk was through the late great Tupac on Black Mafia label.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was our style of music, and we ran with it. I didn't check into the game thinking that, dang, this G-Funk would be like a phenomenon, like people.
Mm-hmm.
Because we was just having fun doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
But years later, it's just incredible. It became a phenomenon.
Yeah.
And I didn't check into the game, anticipating I would be the most featured recording artist on the planet to ever do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Most requested.
Yeah.
Because of the name Kokane, it fit good with the controversy of NWA.
Right.
Because it wasn't no secret, man. They love controversy like Ozzy Osbourne biting up bad heads. Because people didn't...
Which really happened, by the way.
Yeah. Which controversy is very instrumental in making noise. Easy love controversy. Jerry Heller loved controversy.
Right.
And the name Kokane is the most controversial name ever in there.
Yeah.
Right.
But we turned it around to spell it Kokane
Right.
to advocate.
Dope.
When you hear cocaine spunk, it's like you're on cocaine. It's going to take you somewhere else. Like,
Yeah.
goddamn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was some doors slammed in my face because of our creativity with the names, and
Yeah.
they didn't get it because they were stuck in tradition. So I tell everybody, Eazy E was a very incredible individual because he decided to put up his hustle money, and because he decided to put up his hustle money, you can look at the tree years later. He created a multi-billion-dollar vision, that tree.
Ruthless Records.
Ruthless Records.
That
Because
was easy.
the success of Death Row Records, the success of Aftermath, all depends on Ruthless Records.
Right.
So Eazy E landed the biggest deal ever. He was considered our West Coast Russell Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
It was myself, Above the Law, and Poor, Broken, Lonely.
Mm.
And at that time when I was supposed to come out as Kokane, because people were like, dang, man, we want to hear this. Who's this crazy kid? Kokane. My name was really buzzing in the streets.
Yeah.
Prior to my record coming out on Epic Records, because they were the distribution for Eazy E Ruthless Records, they changed my name because the FCC laws wouldn't permit them to say cocaine on the radio. No matter if I was saying, well, they used to put cocaine in actual Coca-Cola products. They don't do it now.
Right.
Right.
They wasn't hearing that.
Damn.
They were stuck in their tradition. But that was good for me.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you why. It was good for me because it pissed everybody off at Ruthless. Like, how dare you? We call niggas with attitude. NWA. Well, this is our shit. This is our creativity. We from the streets. It left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. But that was so good for me because the fellas at NWA and Above the Law allowed me to channel these different styles that I do, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a chance to guest appear on the NWA album, Diva for Zagging album, Niggas for Life.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Yeah, so you hear me, the late great KMG, and Hutch on the
Rest
on
in
the
peace,
intro.
KMG.
While I ride y'all across the USC Compton Heights, they don't ain't no walk through the shadow of real.
Yeah.
See, people thought I was a boy singer. That was my sequencer, but that was my voice.
The actual
Right.
voice. Yeah.
And that allowed me to introduce a character named Sweet Talk, which years later you hear on Snoop and Dre and all that stuff.
Right.
And Eazy gave me a good position to be in because the single that came out was a single called Appetite of Destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote his 10 Gangster Commandments on that song.
Right.
So the radio didn't play me. I was like Chuck D at the time. Who gives a about a damn radio? But it allowed me to get my first platinum plaque.
That's
In
dope.
1991, right? NWA and Guess Who?
It's big.
Talk to me about that relationship with Eazy. Rest in peace to that king. he's such just an interesting guy, right? You know, and he was so ahead of his time.
Right.
What was it like just witnessing that whole era when you knew you were right in the middle of history being made? You were a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Was he always the same? Like, he seemed like he was a real cat. Like, he never switched it up. He never went sideways. Seemed like he was a real one, right?
Man, Eazy.
From start to finish.
Incredible. Sometimes when, and I'm not blowing shit out of proportion, but Eazy was like angelic, man. The hood cats like that. He never made you feel insignificant. He made you feel like you can make millions too. So he kept his outfit on, G-Vars, Cortez, Compton had in the big body Mercedes Benz. He made the money didn't make him.
That's dope.
Facts.
I like that.
I like that.
And Eazy had a heart. He had a golden heart. See, a lot of people, you hear this and you hear that. Well, let me tell you from a disciple. There was one time my kids, before they was being born, they was actually born. Shout out to the wifey.
Yeah.
Identical twins. You're a twin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're identical twins. But they had hernia and issues because they were premature.
Oh, okay.
Now, Eazy was in Calabasas at the time, making a multi-million dollar situation. He broke his meeting because I needed the money. The medical system is messed up in America.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It is.
Was then and still is now.
It still
Wow.
is now.
Wait.
Yeah.
Right? And I needed at least $30,000.
Mm.
You understand me?
Yeah.
He broke his meeting. Got there from Calabasas in an hour. Thank God it wasn't no traffic. Got there in an hour, had a brown paper bag. That's when we used to live in Montana. And he said, not on my clock, man. I opened up. Just wifey tears of joy.
Wow.
Wow. He said, man, not on my clock, man. Go take that, man, and go handle your business. And then I need you in the studio to do that. Well, I don't need you to be worrying about that, man. Not on my clock.
Wow. That's love.
He didn't have to do that.
No.
A lot of people wouldn't do that.
Even if they had the bread, they wouldn't do it.
That's
Yeah. See, the misconception about Eazy E is gossip to gossip, and then that turns into an urban legend of gossip. Eazy, he cared about his artists. He wanted to make it right with Dre. He wanted to make it right with Q. Last time he seen Q was in New York. He's like, we was gonna put NWA together now. If Eazy say he would have lived, it wouldn't be no death row like it was. Because the first time Snoop came into the game is when Warren G took him up to our studio at La Cienega in Centinela, the Edge recording studio, to audition for Ball. See, Snoop was going to actually be a Ruthless artist.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I did hear a combo about that too one time with another homie of mine, Bob Hernandez, that told him, he said something about a cassette tape that Warren G was in.
Man, I miss Bob too.
Yeah, he was a good dude. Good dude.
But
wow.
I look at it, man, if Eazy E was around, a lot of things would have been different. But between, when you look at cats like him and Pop, they lived such a short duration, but it was maximum results that they had.
A body of work.
Short
Huge.
duration.
Yeah.
So I learned
Legends.
that. I picked that up, how to deal with different ethnicities. Because there's so much politics in the streets where, say for instance, Eazy took a chance on Raza.
Yeah.
On Chicano rappers.
Yeah. He gave him an
Or dope
opportunity.
Mexican rappers.
Yeah.
You understand? And that was a no-no at the time.
Kid Frost was signed to Ruthless,
Yeah,
right?
because you get flack on both sides.
Yeah.
But he had vision. He was a real tactician. He could see ahead. You understand?
Yeah.
And years later, because of the bullet points that I'm explaining to you about Eric Wright, Eazy E, is that I soaked it all up.
Good.
I soaked it up, and Eazy E all left us something for us to learn from. So even though the radio didn't play me, yeah, it's good. even though I had to work extra harder.
Right.
What an awesome privilege it is to be around a person like Eazy and actually be there.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. Legendary.
You
time.
really knew him because you was running with him
Major.
probably every day, literally
Yes.
all the time.
It was the blessings of Laylaw, the Code 187, above the law, that seen something in me, because I believe no matter how great Jordan or Kobe is, everybody need to Phil Jackson.
Right. Can't do it by yourself.
No,
Gotta have
that's
a
what
team.
makes up a team.
Right.
And Ruthless Records was incredible. I had a chance in 1990 to go to London. The only NWA tour was in Brixton, Amsterdam. And that was an experience for me, man, because here I am, a kid from the streets. And it was just blew my imagination.
Right. Right. Speaking of Snoop Dogg, talk to me about that element, working with him. You've been featured on a lot of Snoop Dogg records, and you always kill it. Talk to me about that relationship with Snoop and how you vibe with him in the studio. What's that process like with him in the studio? And what's Snoop like, just hanging with
Snoop, when he came to the door and auditioned, I thought, and I would tell Hutch, I said, he's incredible as freestyle. Us, Asshole, Nate Dogg, because they both auditioned. Warren G brought him up to the studio. He used to tell us about Snoop all the time. But I was a ruthless artist. I was, Right. But when he brought him up there, I realized that him and Nate Dogg, they were special. They had talent. They were different. You know what I mean? And prior to them coming up there, we just had finished the, Niggas for Life album, NWA, Black Mafia Life. And this was at the same time where the breakup was about to come. You understand? So Snoop was supposed to be a ruthless recording artist like Nate Dogg. But at that time, Dre was exiting the league because Suge, convinced him to leave. And Suge made some valid issues about mechanicals and points. Suge ain't no dummy.
Yeah.
You understand? So after they left, Warren G brought a tape up to Dr. Dre. I guess they was at a little function or something.
This is the combo I remember.
Yeah, and
Her.
he said, I got this kid named Snoop. So Dre already knew Hutch was working with Snoop. Co 187 it is, because he was going to put him on.
Yeah.
But he wasn't signed. I was signed. He had to work on cocaine. So Dr. Dre actually called Hutch and said, man, I know you've been working with this kid named Snoop, man. And you got cocaine over there doing that thing, man. I'd like to take a shot at him, but I don't want to step on your toes, Hutch. Is it a blessing? He's cool to work with? Hutch could have been anything. Like, nah, man. He said, the kid got talent, man. And that started his career. Because before that started his career, the actual people that were going to leave at the same time to fall out, not just Dr. Dre, it was above the law and cocaine. We were going to be the first on death row. But Eazy E put his foot down and said, nah, I'm not giving up above the law and cocaine. Right. Don't want to give up Dre. So he called a meeting together. Dre was already settled on leaving. But Eazy was adamant, I'm finna fight for cocaine and above the law.
Right.
And he made it right. You know what I mean? And when the breakup happened, they go their way. We go our way. And that was the decade to me, besides the Pac and Biggie thing, Ruthless against Death Row against Ruthless, some gangster shit going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Eazy, he didn't never have the Napoleon complex. He was a gangster from Compton. It was like, okay, I'm not tripping on dissing Dre because I make more money than Dre off his projects because he was under contract. He wasn't supposed to just bounce out like that. Eazy was gangster, like Michael Jackson was gangster, buying Paul McCartney shit.
Yeah. That part.
Right.
Yeah.
True. And it was a trip. And I say all these things and I point out these bullet points to inspire your audience and actually you know, not from a speculative point of view, but from an actual person that was there to give you.
Mhm.
It's like the disciples to Jesus.
Yeah,
No, true.
You know what I mean?
you really witnessed it. You
We
were there.
appreciate it. For real, that's
appreciate it.
tight.
It's a trip, my dude. Like
Mhm.
the Eazy Pass. I'll tell you a crazy story. We were working on Above the Law's Uncle Sam's Curse, which is considered one of the most prolific West Coast albums ever. It was called Uncle Sam's Curse. And our homegirl at the time was Jada Pickett.
Shout out to Jada.
Shout out to Jada.
Yeah.
So we at the House of Blues. And KMG's there, the late great KMG from Above the Law.
Mhm.
Myself was there, Jada Pickett, and Eazy E. Eazy was just coughing.
Uh-oh.
He was coughing. It was like, man, we didn't know what was going on.
Mhm.
Like, man, you better fix that shit. We was always bagging. And it's a trip. He kept going to the restroom, coming back. Like looking at each other like,
Uh-oh.
what's wrong with the homie? All of us was looking at each other like that. And came back, the meeting did good because Jada Pickett had a film company that was actually going to film the video called California, which was on Uncle Sam's Curse.
Mhm.
And he said, I got to get up out of here. But it was a trip. I knew something was weird because Eazy had stopped us. And he said some shit that like, boom, like, what's wrong with you?
Mhm.
He's like, man, cocaine, you keep going, man. You're incredible. I always thought you was incredible. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
But that was him saying goodbye.
Oh my God.
He knew.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He knew it was going.
Damn.
And when he passed, it was a sad time in my career.
Yeah.
Because that was my lifeline economically to help feed my family.
Yeah.
And I got a family now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they played a song of my album, which came out on Ruthless Records, my second album, called Funkin Adventures. And that was a precursor to Uncle Sam's Curse, that came out the same year. And when Eazy E passed, it was a sad time in hip-hop.
Yeah.
Imagine.
And when he passed, they played a song called No Pay, No Gain, No album, Funkin Adventures.
Mm.
And it was dark.
Mhm.
And all the assets was froze. I'm talking about a lot of money.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I had twins. I said, what I'm gonna do? I don't want to go back to criminal activity.
Mhm.
So I used to just go around studios. And there's something about the power of being determined. You understand? I was determined
Focus.
because I got to feed my family.
Yeah.
And I used to go to studios around E40 when he was working on Hall of Game.
Mm.
Classic
album.
Yeah, and all these other projects. And I kid you not to put no spin on it, but 10 times out of 10, they used me. And what was happening indirectly was a safe haven for me to start doing hooks after hooks. Because when everybody do certain songs here and there. But that was the bullet point to my mission statement on being the most featured artist years later, because they just like my style, and I'm grateful to all the artists that ever invited me. Love was a two-way street. And I did that, and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool, Mac. This is cool, B. Okay. Then my homeboy get out the year later. And that's Tupac Shakur. Because Tupac was around us in 91. I remember Pac used to come to NWA studios and the Edge recording studios on La Cienega and Centinela and Inglewood. He used to soak it up. We influenced Tupac.
Yeah, he would
He
observe.
influenced us.
Right.
So going back, when he got out, we driving down the street. I just did a song at Ice-T's house. He used to live on Sunset Plaza. It was for the TWD and Banks project. It was me, him, Spice One, Too Short. So we
I remember that.
Driving down the street, brother, and I had a little spot at the Mondrian, little penthouse, and I see the back of this cue ball head. I'm like, that nigga look like Pac. Excuse my language. That's what we said.
Yeah.
That guy looked like Pac. So we pull around the side, and he looked, and I looked. What's up, Mike? Ninja? I was like, what's up? He was like, man, I'm out. Doing my shit. So he met us at the Madrian, and we started talking about old times. Because that was our guy. You feel me? He said, come follow me. That's when he used to live off Sherman Way.
Wow.
So we go ahead and follow him. And he had a beautiful home. That was when Gaddafi was there.
Right.
All the cats.
The Outlaws.
The Outlaws eating. And I was on the piano. Because I always had, at that time, life and death type songs. So you related to that. So I was on the piano like, sometimes I feel like my day is coming. Won't you free my mind? Free my mind. You know what I mean? And Pac was like, oh man, that's hard. Because he always liked my style.
Yeah.
And I can remember like it's yesterday. He was on the phone. He said, hold on, I want to go to Can-Am studio. I got to talk to this girl, which was Quincy Jones' daughter. He was going with it. So we go to Can-Am studio. And me and him related each other because our pen game is quick.
Right.
Do you understand?
Or he would write on napkins. He'd write on the way to the studio.
So I went in there.
Crazy.
Wrote a hook, like 3 minutes. It was just flowing.
Yeah.
And he said, I want you to bank off that because we're doing a song called Fortune and Fame. And that was the original song prior to him creating the One Nation, which never did really prosper.
Right.
So we did the song, Me, Spice One, and Eazy E and Tupac, called Fortune and Fame. Something we all adore, something we dying for, stuck in this game, nothing but pain, searching for fortune and
fame.
Yeah. So he said, look, man, I want you cats to come down to 3rd Street in downtown LA. I think the movie was called Loving a Bullet or something, Jim Belushi. So we go down there. I got a chance to meet Jim Belushi. No disrespect, but he needed to pop a search. I love you, Jim Belushi.
Yeah.
You know, so we was breaking on each other and all that. And Pac said, I got to go to New York, cocaine. But after I get back from New York, I want you guys, you Spice One, to come to the Mike Tyson get in.
Vegas. Okay.
But at that time, I was signed to Scotty Brothers because me and Yella had a project called One More Nigga to Go. And the song off that was called This Is for the E in remembrance of my homeboy, Eazy E.
Right.
So I had prior obligations to take care. If I didn't, I would be out there with Pac.
Yeah.
Right.
But I had to take care of my business. And then the next day when he was out there, my boy B Legit hit me up. Shout out to B Legit from the Click.
Shout out to Be Legit.
He said, man, they got him.
Oh.
Pac got shot.
I said, they got him. And he said, Pac got shot. They got him. I was like, I thought he was going to get out of it. Like the Teflon done.
Yeah.
So I said, man, let me go to the TV real quick. So I turned it on and there it was right there, like Pac gone. So I went into my office because at the office at Scotty Brothers, and I just boohooed.
Man.
I boohooed because here I am again. I lost Eazy. Now I lost Pac. And it put me in a darker place. To where, you know, for a certain short duration, I found relief in using substances and different other things, you know, no pain.
Yeah.
But during that time, it kind of altered my creativity. And I don't tell no one to use that because it's already in your head. But it allowed me to take away the pain, which was an illusion.
Right.
And it's because that was good times in the 90s, but it was dark times too, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I'll never forget that day. That was my birthday. He got shot on September 7th.
And he mentioned that too. He said, I got cocaine on One Nation. I was going to be a part of his stuff.
Man.
Yeah. What doesn't kill you will only make you stronger, and you're still here. And
Yeah.
it's a blessing to not only have you on the show, but just to witness the great music that you continue to do. Everybody watching, don't you go nowhere. We got a special performance from Kokane, episode 45. Keep it locked.
Keep it locked.
Yeah. Section 8 hustlers. Busters. Section 8 hustling. Boy, I'm not impressed. Y'all playing checkers, but homie, I'm playing chess. And I could care less who the best from the West. I could care less all that shit that you stress. And I could care less what another nigga does. Too busy laser beam focused on my own shit, cuz. And I could care less about your ass complaining. That's why you don't see me. What the fuck was you thinking? My pockets on swole, but your pockets is leaking. I'm eating potatoes, but you niggas is leaking. I ain't hunting ducks when it's whack MC season. G's turn widow, committing that high trees. I keep it dirty like your old ass grandpappy. Stick and move, homeboy, stay away from the crafty. Wear my own clothing line, smoke my own strain. There's a million MCs, but only one cocaine. One cocaine.
Woo, that was a hot performance. Shout out to Kokane, the legendary Kokane, man. Rocking as always. We appreciate you, fam. And speaking of your legendary status, man, there's nobody that sounds like Kokane. When I hear your voice and I hear your style, I know who it is, because there's nobody that can duplicate it.
Right.
I hear a sprinkle, and not to say you sound like them, but I hear influences of Bootsy Collins, Curtis Mayfield, Ohio Players, George Clinton. I mean, how do you have all these different personalities on the microphone? Because, we worked on a record just last night, man, and the flavor that you bring, it's so unique, man. And do you just come up with this sometimes just on the spot? All the different little personalities and things that you incorporate in a record.
I've always been the artist that's been about the vibe.
Yeah.
I think when you vibe, it's a certain type of energy that you say hit different.
Okay.
So any hit record that my voice has been on 70 million records. So anytime I go into a situation, I can credit that to learning from my dad. It's a vibe, man.
Right.
So it comes more natural and organic. The words just eloquently fall out. When you're vibing at a certain vibration.
Right.
And just all those incredible cats. I used to like a comedian named Rich Little, because he can mimic anything. And I used to practice mimicking everything. And it's a trip. You feel good when you can walk into a room with George Clinton.
Yeah.
And George Clinton hearing some stuff on the big speakers. And he said, "When I do that?" I said, "No, Unc, that's me." He looked like, "You little motherfucker, you really got this."
That's sick.
That's when you really arrive, man, when you get that type of credibility from the Hall of Famers.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. So the 90s was crazy, going into the 2000s. Hooking back up with Snoop, we squashed our funk, our beast, because that was Ruthless Death Row. That was over.
Yeah. Came back.
And he wanted to create this group and bring unity to, two gangs that were warring, the Dubs and the Insanes in Long Beach. I mean, they didn't really get along at one time.
Right.
But through Goldilocks being from the Dub, Rolling 20s, and then Trey D being from, Insane, Trey's, it was a beautiful match in heaven, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I leaned back up with Snoop, and Snoop was like, "Man," I was like, "Man, you ain't gotta say it, man." It's like, "Man, let's put the magic down."
Yeah.
You know what's happening.
Right.
So the first record that he put together is a group called Eastsiders. Snoop Dogg presents the Eastsiders.
Right.
And the first song we did is at the Music Grinder on Hollywood. And dun 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 dun. Oh, so I can get around it. We did all that. And then me and Nate Dogg did a song. I was born coming up from the ghetto where the OGs never let go.
I remember that.
And we was on the road. The chemistry was so cold. We just made records and records. It gave me a chance to reconnect with Dr. Dre because I was seeing LA niggas on LA niggas.
Yeah.
Sing that hook. So I got on the Chronic 2001. That went diamond. We did the East Siders. That went double, triple platinum.
Yeah. That was a dope
And
album.
then the album that really kind of catapulted me a little extra to where the four corners of the earth can know who Kokane is was Snoop Dogg, The Last Meal. Because I was only supposed to be on like 2 or 3 songs. But Snoop, no, he's a smart man. He'll pick up on it. He used me on so many songs, people thought it was a joint album. And after the No Limit experience, it helped him rebound back to that original sound.
Right.
Because I'm like, damn, I didn't know he was going to use me on so many songs. But he's a smart man. It fit more than the OJ glove. When it hit the ground, it hit running.
Right. Right.
And that catapulted me to where I started doing stuff with your Busta Rhymes, Jada Kiss, and DMX and different other things.
Legends.
Like
Legends.
yeah. So
Opened a lot of doors.
it was good, man. That little short moment at the doghouse in Aftermath, you know, prior to the internet and streaming effery,
Right.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was good between going out of the 90s into the 2000s, 1999 to about 2006.
Okay.
And then once this internet, it just changed the trajectory of the whole game, as you can see.
Yeah.
You know, tech companies start getting more and squeezing the juice out of the artists. And now you see subsidiaries and different other things that are basically archaic now.
Right.
They're not around no more.
Right.
Tower Records used to be around. It's not around.
Oh, yeah.
Tower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shut down.
It's shut down. So I'm glad leaving out of that era that I was able to pick up on what Prince was talking about with Napster and different other things.
Oh, yeah.
He foreseen it.
Yeah.
And I created my company with my family, my wife and children, because I wanted the children to have stocks in. It was important for me to have a family type stability, but with a company, someone I can trust.
Yeah.
Right.
So I started my company with them called Buddy Boy Entertainment.
Love it.
And we were building up our meta database with just certain people because the power of direct marketing is everything.
Right.
But we were doing it at a time to where, you know, people were actually roasting us, tap dancing with their Spotify plaques and shit. But you ain't getting no money. You getting point whoop 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 on your.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we created something 17 years ago, and I'm glad we did because you got to have vision, man. You got to take a chance on yourself, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
And we knew one day, even if it was incrementally, we still kept our eyes on the prize. Because whatever you focus on is what you become, especially when you stay consistent in it.
Yeah.
And we were consistent. We didn't get distracted. And we built up a substantial amount of people, a little bit over 1 million. So that way, we said when we get to that point to building over 1 million, we just want at least 25% of those sales. The percentage is way high.
Right.
And like the CD that I'm presenting with you is called The Funkin Adventures of Dr. Kokanstine. Got Ice Cube. It's almost 4 albums, bro.
Yeah. This is a 3-album
double.
trilogy, right?
Yeah, 3-album trilogy because
Dope.
I wanted to give my fans an experience.
Yeah.
And when we did that project, let's just say the game then changed.
Right.
You know, let's just say if I sold 20,000 and that record costs $100 a pop, which I don't like giving people my numbers, none of their business. But let's just say if I sold 20,000 at $100 a pop, do the math.
Oh, yeah.
That record sells for $100, and the fans are feeling good because it's live instrumentation. The next single is with me and Ice Cube.
What's the name of that record?
It's called Come Up Like Me.
Okay.
we're talking to the youth.
That's right.
Because I did stuff with Ice Cube in the past called Policy.
Yeah.
I'm on his projects as well.
Shout out to Cube.
Shout out to Cube.
Big time legend.
And me and him, I was able to link up between him and my boy JD. My boy Mr. Shadow, who's a real Sylvania rapper, legendary.
Yeah, I've heard of
For
Shadow.
the first time, Ice Cube is doing a song with a real Sylvania. Because the fan base of Mexicans are deep out in California.
Big time.
They
And we
are.
appreciate
They are.
them and Arasa for really just an exchange of good music.
Right.
And we go back to Eazy E. He did that with a group called Brownside.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yep.
So going back to creating this company, it was good that we did that because now we're in control of the autonomy. And it's important to learn the business administration part before you pick up a microphone.
Absolutely.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
So if I can help people avoid certain situations, not everybody gonna listen to it,
Yeah.
but it empowers people. So now Kokane is not only just the elder, Kokane is empowering people
Right.
to pick up and do the same thing.
Right. Right. Talk to us about the Sugarcane project with Sugar Free. That was a joint album that you collaborated with Free on. How did that come about, man? Because, you know, he's from the P like you.
Right.
And he's, you know, he's such a dope and different artist, right? His flow, his delivery, what he does. And then you got such a distinct style, so you bring those worlds together. It's a dope project, by the way.
Project dope.
We
went to the
had
album
that on
release.
repeat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that project was in the making for like 25 something years.
Okay, so you were talking about it years ago.
But we
Perfect,
never
man.
got
The timing just wasn't right.
Nah, it wasn't. It was a lot of things that was interfering with it.
Okay.
But we got a chance to hook it up between me, him, and Teddy,
Yeah.
which is his manager.
Shout out to Ted, yeah.
And we came up with this incredible project and, you know, album called Sugarcane.
Yeah.
The people never be the same.
Yeah. it's,
was awesome.
it's dope, man. I mean,
Sugarcane.
you know,
And that's how doing pretty good too.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a lot of body of work.
Yeah.
We would actually have to be here for at least 2 weeks explaining.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's
we
so
listening.
much
Yeah.
work.
The most featured artist of all time for everybody watching the show.
4,000 something features.
Yeah, yeah, you know, and I added on to that number here last
yeah.
night. Shout out to-
365.
Yeah, yeah.
4,364. But
Yeah.
So we got it popping, and
big.
you know, you got a record with the East Siders, right? Well Connected,
yeah.
produced by the real Schizo from Buffalo, New York. Shout out to him. Tell us about that project and the video you just did.
Well, I like helping artists and companies with the right attitude.
Yeah,
Because your attitude determines altitude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and these cats, Law of Attraction, they came into my synergy.
yeah,
A cat named Schizo. He's like the East Coast Khaled.
okay,
I don't like to compare him. He's doing his thing. He's from Buffalo.
yeah,
And Buffalo has been making some noise. You look at Griselda and different other things like
Yeah.
that. But we just hit it off and just got to doing this video to Eastsiders called Well Connected.
yeah,
Now, we did Connected before on the Eastsiders Deuces and Trays with Mob D, myself, and the Eastsiders and Snoop. But we wanted to call this Well Connected. And the video was, you know,
Oh, it was bananas. Oh my goodness.
bananas.
It was a movie.
Hey.
I'm still thinking about that video.
Yeah, it was incredible. And timing is everything because ain't no substitution for good. And
Yeah,
you can't put an expiration date on music. You see George Clinton, 83 years old, looking sharp as surgical tool. Still getting it.
yeah,
That's the power of music and the legacy we created, you know, with myself, the East Side of Snoop.
right.
Now it didn't hit the world. And it's amazing that it's all come back around. Everything is like a circle.
Yeah,
Come back around. And it's perfect time because we come from the era of substance where it was okay to have a balance. You
yeah,
could do a Training Day movie and then you could do a Malcolm X movie.
right,
It wasn't all this way and wasn't all that way, excuse me.
right.
And I think I thank the universe that everything is starting to come back to live instrumentation.
Yeah,
I thank the universe for the sports world making their voice, because
Yes.
hip hop is big in the sports world.
Big time.
Music is big in the sports world.
Yep.
And I'm glad that they're planting seeds, really a beanstalk.
Yeah.
To really carry it all the way into the culture of sports.
Right.
What a blessing it is, man. We did that at the time because NWA is responsible for a whole lot of Raider gear selling.
Big time. Still responsible to this day.
Hip hop is amazing.
Oh yeah, the cultural impact.
You talking about when it comes to economics, hip hop is amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's the voice.
Yeah. And it'll never die. It'll always be here. It's here to
I
stay.
missed the boombox days with my cassette. I put my cassette tape in the boombox, way back.
So I'm glad I'm very humble.
Right.
I'm glad I was able to go through so many cycles and revelations of different things to be able to provide some information that are factual, but mostly inspiring.
Right. And speaking of sports, because sports had a huge impact on my life. This show and my network, Sports Hop Media, infusing hip hop culture and sports. Talk to us about sports. Are you a sports fan, Raider fan? Who's your?
Oh, I'm a diehard. You see this?
I see, and I like the green too.
But you know what?
It hits different.
I know. Laker fans gonna get mad at me.
Okay.
This should be a diehard. From the era, 70s.
Magic, Kareem,
Your
Worth,
Jamal Wilkes and
Michael Cooper,
Norman Nixon, and Norman and
Rambis.
Michael Cooper, and the Rambis.
Yeah.
And then when Magic and them came in, there was big man and the point guard prior to Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just it's a discredit, to some of the things that the Lakers, in my humble opinion, need their ass whooped. There were certain expectations we were expecting.
Right.
But humans are humans. And I just, found love for the Clippers.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the Clippers.
I'm not mad at you, pimpin'.
I like the Clippers. I like
They just built a new Intuit Dome. It's in Inglewood,
Man, I know you Lakers fans is gonna be mad, but get mad all day, man. LA, there's a new team and things change. You know what I mean? So, I'm a diehard Raider, Clippers. I like tennis. I like golf.
You mess with the Dodgers or no?
Yeah, I like the Dodgers.
Okay, shout out to the Dodgers in the midst of trying to get to the next level and go to the World Series.
Yeah.
Playing the Mets right now. So
absolutely. So I'm a sports fanatic. Always been a sports fanatic. You know what I mean? And
right.
That's what it is. Sports and hip hop go hand in hand, baby.
Right. And speaking of hand in hand, music, hip hop music particularly, and movies go hand in hand. And you're such a character on the mic. You have all these different styles and personalities and flavor. You ever thought about hopping in the acting game, man? Because I can totally see you. I've been in that field for over 20 years.
Right.
I can totally see you landing on a show or a movie or something, man, because you just got that swag.
Right. Well, I plan to explore that.
Right.
In school, high school, in my sophomore, freshman year, I used to write plays. I had drama class.
Okay.
I had acting class.
Yeah. Cool.
And, I've been involved in different other soundtracks. You see me play in the movie Old School with Will Ferrell and Vince Vaughn.
I remember that.
Incredible movie. Funny as shit.
Yeah.
I also sing the title track for Malibu's Most Wanted.
Right.
Play that funky music, white boy. And I'm also on different soundtracks from Training Day to Loving the Bullet, so
right
to different other things. But I really want to explore. I'm going to explore, put it like that, because that's my next greatest thing.
Yeah.
I conquered the hook game, feature.
Right.
Now, I want to be a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
And also doing voiceover, so I'm kind of working on that.
Cool.
It's in this beginning stage, but I've already got a history on that, so I'll explore it.
Well, I know a few people that know a few people, so I got you, big dog. I got you.
We'll make it happen.
I got you covered like a blanket, pimp. Tell everybody watching the show, give them your social media handles where they can find you online, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you got. Let them know what time it is.
Well, I keep a little mystique. I don't got like 10 different things.
Right, right.
You can just reach me on Instagram at KOKANE_OG_. Or you can go on Twitter. That's all I mess with.
Okay.
Just those two things. I used to have all the Snapchats and Facebook, but I found out in my case, you know, the mystique and mystery works best for me.
Okay.
So I'm still out here working. We just did an incredible song.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm still.
Can't wait to hear it.
Oh my goodness.
Be dope.
Good Lord.
And that's what I like about you because I've been a scientist of music. I do rock and roll. This project has rock and roll, classical music on there, hip hop. That is the Funkin Adventures of Dr. Kokanstine. And the only way you're able to get that project is if you go to my site at www.budmusic.com. And we pronounce it www.budeboymusic.com. Make sure you subscribe. It's more of an intimate, direct marketing situation. And
I love it.
we'll get that product out to you.
Right, right. Well, episode 45 is in the books. It's your boy Mack B. Follow me on Instagram at Mack B, MACKB as in boy _ at Sports Hop Media. Kapeash, tell them how they can find you, man.
You can find me at Kapeash Kid, KAPEASHKID, man. It's your boy Kapeash, Pizza Boy Fresh. Holla.
Episode 45. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Peace. Thanks for watching Sports Hop. For all the latest news on hip hop and sports, subscribe here and keep it locked. It's your boy Mack B.